Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Sheila Beaver coming to you with another review of Tyler Perry's Sistas. I thought this was the season finale, but they ended up showing another trailer at the end of this. And in my mind, I was thinking, if this is the season finale, this really wasn't that good. I mean, it wasn't really. I don't know. I was highly disappointed in what I saw. So I guess I am excited to know that this isn't the season finale, which I thought it was. I don't know, but this is episode 21, season 8, and this is London Bridges. And I'm gonna try to make this kind of quick because I was very underwhelmed. Um yeah, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. The more you do like, the more I do go through the algorithm. The more people start to view my commentary. And also, yeah, I am reviewing the show Beyond the Gates. So if you want to check that out, please hit that notification button and you'll know when I am dropping my reviews for Beyond the Gates. And I do post a video pretty much every day because it's a soap opera, and it comes on every day except for the weekends. So yeah, check it out. I've been having a really good time reviewing the show. It's something fresh, it's something new, and I'm really enjoying it. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this Tyler Perry London Bridges. So the episode picks up Danny pretty much won. You know, they took her off the suspension. She can report to work immediately. They're going to give her back pay for the month that she's missed, and she's also going to get $75,000. I mean, that's pretty much the gist of this. They was making it all dramatic, but it really wasn't. I mean, I guess it was, but it really wasn't. I was happy that Danny did get a victory. I'm happy that Tony actually got to see Danny get a victory without his help. Well, I guess it was kind of his help because he put her in the situation to where she can get $75,000 plus back pay and her job back because of something that he did. So thank you, Tony. Tony and Danny, they try to have a conversation when everybody else leave. Andy, she didn't want them to talk, but Danny said that she had it. So after Danny left and the other attorneys left, they sit down, they had a conversation. It wasn't really a real conversation. It was pretty much Tony saying that he was sorry for what he did and all of that stuff. Danny really didn't give him much feedback to him, and she was just like, she'll just see him at work. I just sued, the company. So I don't know if this is a good look for either of us. So that's pretty much what that was. They'll see each other back at work, and it's going to be awkward. So yeah. All right, so now you have Pam and Karen. They are really trying to figure out a game plan to really jump the sales for Rooster Riches. They were saying that they're going to have to do a whole lot of more social media. They're going to have to go the old school way, knocking on doors, passing out flyers. And, Pam said that Maurice told her that Rooster Riches can be a lubricant, especially when you warm it up. And Pam is like, why would you want to do a lube when you trying to work on folks' edges? But hey, it's just a thought. So they're talking about that, but they're pretty much going to try to put boots on the ground to get the Rooster Riches where it needs to be so they can get this, so they can get this money from Miss Marie Willis. All right, so now back over at the office, Zach comes in and he gives Fatima some, I guess he brings her breakfast. And she's pretty much telling him, thank you, but you're going to have to hurry up and go. Fatima is really trying to push Zach out of the office, and Zach don't even understand why. And yeah, Zach don't understand why. He was like, look, I'm trying to feed my girl, so don't be trying to act brand new, just because I'm up here. But she was just like, this is a different situation now. Andy is managing partner. We want to make her look good. She wants to make her look good. And Zach is like, yeah, I guess I feel you. I feel you. They also talk about the whole Rooster Riches, and she's handling the case. Fatima says that she doesn't want to talk about, well, she is not going to discuss what she has going on in regards to her client, Miss Marie, with Zach. Zach was like, you tell me everything else, but she was just like, okay, well, then she tells him all about that Miss Marie Willis wants to put it in stores and retail and all that stuff. And he said, well, shoot, maybe I should, invest. I didn't think that it was a bad idea, but I didn't think that it was not a bad idea. But according to y'all, y'all was like, he don't need to do that. And, and Fatima agrees with you all that, he don't need to do that. They just they cool, but they ain't cool like that, like that. Like she ain't trying to be sitting up here fussing with Karen about rooster riches by way of one of your baby daddies and your husband or whatever y'all call yourselves, Zach and Fatima, wife, husband, fiance, whenever they get married, that's what they gonna be. All right, so yeah, Zach kind of thought about it like, oh yeah, I guess, I know. So now Maurice is calling Sabrina because Sabrina had just got back from Turks and Caicos, and he's just trying to talk to her and say, "Hey, let me know what happened down there in the Turks and Caicos when you was with Damani." And Sabrina is talking to him, but Sabrina gets a knock at the door, and who is at the door is none other than Calvin. Calvin is back. I actually thought Calvin looked pretty good. He has some facial hair. Calvin looks growner, like he looks grown with facial hair. And Sabrina is surprised to see him. Calvin is surprised to see Sabrina. And, he told Sabrina that she looked good. And Sabrina says, you just pretty much up and left. And Calvin says, I did. But if you allow me to come in, I can really give you a good explanation as to why I left. Sabrina says she doesn't think that that's a good idea. But Calvin does convince her to let him in. So, they kind of talk a little bit when he gets in, and, they talk about everything, like the reason why he left. He really wasn't able to face her, and that's one of the reasons why he had to get out. And then he ended up learning that Sabrina had a new boyfriend. Sabrina said that Maurice told him that he went on and left with a white girl, and she said, I mean, ain't nothing wrong with it, but you did, and all that stuff. So they're pretty much catching up. I think I do have another slide with them, but if I don't, I'm just going to continue the conversation because it really wasn't much to it. He was saying that Trixie pretty much accepted him for who he was, and she was also using him as a fetish. I mean, she wanted a black man and she got a black man, and she didn't treat him as a person. So Calvin said that Sabrina treated him as a person, a human being, and he really liked that about her. And Sabrina really couldn't give an update on her relationship because she don't know if they together, if they not together, or whatever the situation with them is. So I don't know if they're gonna continue to be friends or if they are going to start something. I really don't know. But I mean, it was good to see Calvin. Like I said, he looked nice with his facial hair. So that was pretty much the gist of that conversation. I mean, it really wasn't much, but pretty much a catch up. And so now Rich gets a phone call from that dirty. You have a collect call from the um, Atlanta County Courthouse prison. Atlanta County Prison. And so it is none other than Jordan. And Jordan can't take it no more. It seems as if he is giving a verbal warning saying, I need you to take care of Penelope for me. He's been in jail over a month now and he can't take it anymore. And he's supposed to be out here protecting his sister, but, he can't do what he needs to do. And he should have never went down there and choked out Gary. All of this has happened because of Andy. Just a lot of the same old. Rich is trying to encourage him like, okay, it's going to be okay. Penelope is trying to get you a lawyer and all of this other stuff. But, Jordan hangs up the phone crying because he can't take it anymore. And, it's almost like he's saying his goodbyes. That's what it seems like, but I don't think he's going to unalive himself or hurt himself. But, that seems as if that is the innuendo that Tyler is trying to tell us. All right, so now back over at the office, Andy and Robin, they are in a good space right now. Andy is officially managing partner. Robin says he has done his job. Now it's time for him to go back to the UK. He set out to do what he was going to do, and now he's about to leave. And Andy really don't want him to leave. They don't. So they kind of get a little close, and they get to romanticizing about each other. And as they are getting close, romanticizing, Penelope comes in quick and looks at Andy like, I need to talk to him alone. Andy is like, what? But Andy go ahead and she walks off, right? So that's pretty much what that was. Now, so while Penelope is talking to Robin, She wants Robin to represent her brother Jordan and to get him out of prison because they haven't really had any contact. He's not being released on bond. Like, they are pretty much holding him hostage. They are saying that he is the one that stabbed Gary. Even he was the one that assaulted him, attempted murder, and all of that stuff. They're placing all these charges on Jordan. And she says that Jordan needs some help. um Robin is saying, like, I can't do it. Like, I can't do it. I already helped Andy. I already helped you. Now I'm looking like I'm an ambulance chaser. And she was like, please, please, all of this is happening because of Gary. And she said, I already lost my baby to Gary. I can't lose my brother either. And she says, I will do whatever I can do. And she kind of gets up on him, almost like she was propositioning him for sex. Like, I give you a sexual favor if you do this for me. And Robin catches it and it's like, oh, well, you ain't gotta do all do all that. I see what I can do, right? And then they're embracing each other, they're hugging each other because Robin did say he would try to go by there before he leaves to the UK. And while they're hugging, you can see Andy over there looking like, this girl trying to take my man, pretty much. And that's what that was. All right, now, so Danni was on the couch with this big old teddy bear that Tony gave her. Then there is a knock, knock, knock at the door. She throws the teddy bear over because she hears that it's Tony at the door. Child, the girl break the light. I'm like, all of this. I mean, that teddy bear is big, though. I mean, it ain't no way you could have threw that without breaking something. But she gets up, goes to the door, open it, and it is Tony. Tony is apologizing. He said, I can't stay away. I was already a month away from you. I couldn't resist. And she was like, oh, so you're going to once again show up unannounced and you're going to do what you want to do without even he's pretty much backing her into another corner. And I'm just like, Tony, you say that you learned, but have you really learned? Man, Tony gets to apologize, and I see that you were right. I was trying to change you into something that you were not. I apologize. I was trying to make you into some type of alpha, work-driven female. Pretty much he was stepping over the line. And then he says he will do anything, anything, anything to prove his love for her. This man gets on his knee, pulls out a ring. And Danni looking like, what? Like, okay, whatever. So, all right, now, so back over here at the office, Fatima and Zach. So Fatima over there looking like, is that Penelope coming? Like, what is she up here doing or whatever? And this is when Zach pretty much starts to get back into his detective bag, right? So he's just like, oh yeah. So they bring up the whole Jordan situation and all of that stuff, and about Jordan having, all these charges. And as Zach is trying to talk to Fatima, you know what I'm saying, about Jordan, and then it kind of gets cut off. And it's almost like every time Zach gets the urge or just the thought to talk about this whole case situation, it's always like somebody intervenes, right? Anyway, so as Penelope is leaving, Andy goes and try to stop Penelope, and just to pretty much see how oh, mind you, Penelope says that she doesn't want to talk to Andy or whatever. She kind of tries to check Andy, and she says that she can pretty much do whatever she wants or whatever. But Andy says that you can't do whatever you want. I am the managing partner here. Have you not heard? She gets to clapping her hands like, well, whoop-de-doo for you. And then, that's neither here nor there for her. So Andy asks, how was Jordan doing? Here we go. Penelope says, you don't get to ask me about my brother. And she degrades Andy and then leaves Andy sitting there looking like she looks with her mouth open. I was like, okay, all right. So now we have Hayden. Hayden has brought Gary back to Gary's place. Gary says he feels at home at the office. He feels like himself in the office. And Hayden is looking at Gary like, so do you remember? He was like, no, he doesn't remember, but it's the feeling that he gets. It's the feeling. And I'm like, what do you feel? Like, do you feel, do you feel whoever did? Do you feel who stabbed you? Like, what's the feeling? And so while he was sitting there talking, he was saying that he's going to get everything back. Everything that everybody has tried to take from him, he's going to take it back. Like, he's going to take back his business. He's going to take back his money, everything. And he was saying he's going to take back Andy. And he says there is no way in the world that he would have gave Hudson power of attorney over him. He said that he's pretty much tried to steal his money, or he tried to take over his life. And as he's talking about Hudson walks into the room and talking to Gary. Hey, boss, how you doing, boss? And Gary tells him to get up out of here. And at the end of the day, Gary just fires Hudson. Hudson says that Gary is going to regret it. He was like, get up out of my office, pretty much. All right. So as Tony is on his knees trying to confess his love for Danny, Danny tells him to get up. And I thought that Danny was going to choose her and not be so persuaded by the words that Tony was giving her. Because, like I said, Tony was apologizing overly and over and over and over, like profusely, like over and over and over again, right? And so he was saying, I see you, I see who you are, I'm not going to try to change you, just telling her everything that she wants to hear. Danny's whole thing is like, we are becoming a toxic couple, like Andy and Gary. Like, we're a wedding stabbing away from being Gary and Andy. And she doesn't want to end up in a situation like that. She doesn't want to feel like she is being, pretty much her voice is being stripped from her. And Tony is like, no, I'm not trying to do that. Please don't compare us to them out of all people. He's just really begging and begging. He was like, and then she was telling him he got old knees and all this other stuff. And he said, I'm willing to risk my knees for him and all that stuff. And then Danny is like, well, let me see the ring again. And she looks at the ring, but she doesn't give an answer. And so that's pretty much it with that. Do y'all think that Danny should marry Tony? Do you think? I don't know. I just think Danny needs to assess herself. I do. Danny got this money now. Danny can really put herself in a position to where she could really choose her, because Tony, he even said that they can go and have sex. And she was like, I'm not trying to do that. Like, I'm not on that type of time. Like, you can see that Danny is really trying to be something different. And I think that Tony needs to allow her the space to be that. I do. All right, so now back over here at the Rooster Riches. So Karen done gathered everybody, right? She's gathered everybody. Like, Aaron came down there. They was being all huggy kissy, smooching all on each other. Mama Lisa, she came in. She was happy, to see everybody. Pam, and also Karen also gathered her employees, and she told them, like, she going old school. She was like, we are going to start doing like these Rooster Riches parties, like when you go to different people's homes. And she was telling the people too, she was like, yeah, and whatever you're going to get a percentage of the commission that you sell. And I thought that was a really, really good idea, giving people incentive to sell your products, and especially if it's a good product, So I thought that was a really, really good idea. And she also said, what we were talking about earlier, Pam, with the lubricant and all that stuff, we should do that as well. She was like, look, it ain't none of my business what these people do with it, as long as I get it sold. And I was like, I think that is a good deal. I'm glad they're doing old school, boots to the ground, having these in-home parties, selling. My mama used to sell, like, what she used to do with that interior design. And she would, go to them little parties where they buying all this in-home interior, like the Mary Kay, how they used to do. Remember Avon? The Avon ladies, like, go old school. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Word of mouth. Hey, get it how you live. And she said, I do also, Pam, I need you to be on social media, down to the social media day and night. So I'm glad that they're showing their drive. I'm glad that they have a team behind them that's really going to push them to the forefront. All right. Like I was saying earlier, um, yeah, I forgot I had this clip, but like I was saying earlier, this they were pretty much catching up, like I was saying about the whole Trixie, that she only was using him for a fetish, and Sabrina, she really doesn't know what her relationship is. So what's going to happen what's going to happen with Sabrina and Calvin? Are they going to be friends, or are they going to try to rekindle something that they lost? Or maybe Sabrina just need to do whatever she needs to do on her own and not worry about anybody. But Calvin came back for a reason. And he says he's back. So, yeah. All right. So now you have Aaron. Oh, excuse me. Forgive me, y'all. Now you have Robin and Andy. It looks as if Robin and Andy are trying to give it a go. Robin tells Andy, "Hey, well, Andy says she doesn't want him to leave. What can he do to get him to stay?" Robin brings up the fact that he has been offered, the governor has offered him a seat at the bench, meaning he's going to be a judge. He has the offer to be a judge. He says he always wanted to, but he really didn't know if he wanted to do it because he was going around setting up these UK offices and all that stuff. But if Andy says that she wants to make a relationship out of this, they both love each other, they have admitted that they love each other, he would consider being a judge here in Atlanta. And they gave each other like this kiss. Did I get the kiss? Yeah, they gave each other this kiss. And he said, "Look, I'm leaving for the UK tonight. If you don't want me to leave, call me and let me know you don't want me to go." That was pretty much what it is. So, Andy, are you going to call Robin and tell him you don't want him to go? It seems like you're going to tell him to stay. And it looks like Robin is here to stay. And that's a good look for Robin being a judge. I mean, he really going to have the connections now. Shoot, go before. Matter of fact, if he's a judge and Jordan got to go before him, maybe Jordan will really get off now. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think that Robin and Andy are going to be a good couple? I mean, I think they'll be pretty good. They going to run Atlanta, child. Because I know if they still in that office, if they're working together in that Leland, Jones, and Barnes and all that, they going to kill each other. So it's good that they're working outside of each other. And then they can have a relationship after that. All right, so now they Zach Zach and Fatima, they're over there talking, right? And they were trying to talk about the case. They couldn't get the conversation out because Robin came over, and Robin Fatima was trying to tell Zach, "Hey, you need to go ahead and leave because Robin's showing up." But Robin ended up coming anyway. Zach slicks kind of checks Robin about being so hard on his girl. Robin wasn't tripping. He was like, "I understand that you defend your wife or whatever." Whoop de woo. Zach ends up leaving. And Robin apologizes to Fatima, and he says that he's glad that Andy has someone like Fatima in his corner, especially if he's leaving to go to the UK. Fatima will be here to be Andy's bulldog. All right. So again, like I was saying, Gary ended up firing Hudson. Hudson says that Gary is going to regret it. And then that leaves these two behind. That leaves Hayden and it leaves Gary. And when I tell y'all, they was playing this music like it's going to be some type of big deal. And I hate when they play that music like it's going to be something very intriguing, but it wasn't. Only thing this was, Hayden was just telling Gary that, "Do you remember the night that you got stabbed?" And Gary said, "So you are the one that stabbed me?" He said, "No, I didn't." He said, "But he went over there. He got the knife out the kitchen. He went into the room, and then he couldn't do it because he said he's not about to do a bid for Gary." Drops the knife. And he ends up leaving. And he said the only reason why he wanted to help Gary is to get out of this whole power attorney situation and to be close to Gary, just to let him know that, no, I wasn't the one that did it, and I need you to stay away from my girl. He said, "Who was your girl?" "Tamaria." "Yeah, you was sleeping with my girl." And he did like push his little wound in, that little cut. He pushed it in or whatever, and made Gary say, whatever. It really, child, when I tell y'all, I was so underwhelmed. I was so underwhelmed. I'm like, you doing all this to tell Gary to stay away from your girl? You did all of this. So we even. And then Gary gonna put his hand out like, oh, so you my friend. No, y'all are frenemies. Y'all are back to being Beavis and Butthead. Y'all are both little evil, diabolical, little genius, little, I ain't gonna say evil geniuses, but y'all are evil crooks. Like, y'all are just some weirdos. You know what I'm saying? And they it's like they tag team back again. I'm like, I thought we were gonna really see something. So if this was the season finale, because sometimes I did learn like this will be the season finale, and Tyler Perry will still show like a trailer, but it'll be for like months down the line. But I was just like, this was really, so I stayed up to watch this, and I got no answers at all. And Hayden said, "Stay away from my girl." Everybody been with your girl, Hayden. Everybody. He don't even remember her, but he remember Andy, I guess. Anyway, y'all, when I tell y'all I was so over this, and I didn't even think that I was going to be doing this for 27 minutes, but I guess I am. But anyway, y'all, this is Sheila Bila. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know, were y'all hype about this, about this episode? Because I wouldn't. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.